Hello and welcome to this month's Doncaster market update. Whether you're looking to buy, sell or invest in the local area, here is a breakdown of the stats and figures from last month to give you an insight into the Doncaster market and how it's looking at the moment.
Let's start with supply and homes for sale. In January 2026, there were 1,479 properties for sale across Doncaster. That's down 0.9% from this time last year, but still above the long-term average of 1,197 homes. So what does this tell us? It tells us that the market is stabilised. There's plenty of choice for buyers, but we're not seeing an oversupply that would drive prices down. In terms of new listings, 264 properties came to market in January. That's down 7% year on year from 284, but it's still above the long-term average of 250. And compared to December's 227 listings, January saw a 16% jump. That's the traditional New Year bounce in action. Sellers who will have held off over Christmas have come back to market with confidence. Overall, supply levels are healthy and consistent and a strong foundation for 2026.
So what about pricing? Well, the average asking price in Doncaster in January reached £237,406. That's a 3.8% increase compared to January in 2025. Now, even more interesting is the price per square foot. Well, that rose to £225, which was up 13.1% from £199 last year. So that's a significant jump. However, when we look at what homes are actually selling for, the average sales agreed price was £219,254, which is 2.1% lower than last year. So sales agreed price per square foot came in at £207, which is up 3.5% year on year. So the key takeaway, there's about an 8.7% gap between the asking prices and actual achieved prices per square foot. So that tells us negotiation is happening and buyers are still securing sensible discounts even in an active market.
Now sales activity. This is where the real strength shows. In January, 242 properties were marked as sold subject to contract. That's up 5.2% from 230 last year and well above the long-term average of 203. It's actually the strongest January of recent years. Put this into perspective, December saw just 130 sales agreed. January's 242 represents an 86% increase month on month. That's not window shopping, that's serious buyer activity.
Now, what about market mechanics and what's driving this right now? So let's dig into what's happening behind the scenes. So there were 193 price reductions in January, which was up 14.2% year on year. And that shows that while the market is active, pricing strategy really matters, and the homes that launch too high are having to readjust. On the positive side, withdrawals dropped dramatically, so there was only 69 properties which were withdrawn from sale in January compared to 140 last year, which is a huge 50.7% reduction. That's a very strong sign of market health. There's fewer sellers which are giving up and more properties that are staying on the market and finding buyers. Now, fall-throughs rose to 52, which was up 30% from last year, but with 242 sales agreed, that still means roughly 4 out of 5 sales are progressing successfully, which is normal for a busy market. Several key factors are driving Doncaster's resilience. Now, first, affordability. So with asking prices averaging around £237,000 and agreed prices around £219,000, Doncaster remains accessible compared to many UK towns and cities. Secondly, connectivity. So your direct rail services to London in under 90 minutes, plus fast links to Leeds and Sheffield make commuting realistic and attractive to a lot of buyers. Thirdly, lifestyle. Well, there's a lot of regeneration happening right now in the town centre. You've got good schooling options and access to green space, which all strengthen demand and make it a lovely place to live. So put simply, Doncaster offers value, connectivity and quality of life.
What does this mean for buyers and sellers? For buyers, this is a healthy functioning market. There's a good choice with 1,479 homes available and over 260 new listings a month. There's also room for negotiation. The 8.7% gap between asking and agreed prices proves it. But you need to be prepared. With 242 sales agreed in a single month, serious buyers are acting decisively. For sellers, the message is positive but realistic. Transaction levels are strong, withdrawal rates are down, and buyers are active. However, pricing correctly from day one is crucial. The increase in price reduction shows that the market won't reward over optimistic pricing. Well presented, well priced homes are selling, those that test the market are adjusting. Closing thoughts. Overall, Doncaster continues to show resilience and steady growth, driven by affordability, connectivity, and lifestyle appeal. The big question now is whether January's strength sets the tone for the rest of 2026. But based on these numbers, the year has started on very solid ground.
That was your Doncaster market update for this month. Whether you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in Doncaster, from Sprotborough, Bessica, Scawthorpe, or anywhere in between, please get in touch with myself, Gabby, Ben. We are always here to help.